psyched. But just to know that God uses me is a great thing.
Yeah.
So the Global Citizen Night is so special. Do you know there's not a day that goes by without anybody mentioning Global Citizen since that night?
That makes sense.
It's been like 3 or 4 years.
Sure.
I'm telling you, every single day
you hear about Global.
Someone will say something about Global Citizen.
But do you understand that there was Beyonce and Jay-Z? But I remember your performance. And it's got nothing to do with them. But I think it's speaking to the gift that you have. And I think that night you embodied everything you were meant to be.
It's God, man.
Yeah.
It's because, it's so amazing that people were speaking about this night, and I was going through a lot.
I can imagine what was happening in your mind.
The night before, I was in Durban.
Yeah.
I was doing fill-up in Durban the night before, and we lost 7 million rand the night before. Actually, the morning before.
That's why you were performing like that.
I was performing. The rent was due. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then the next morning,
7 million rand.
7 million,
before.
yeah. So the morning before is when we got confirmation that, the government was pulling out. The politics in Durban.
Yeah.
And we went. So we had to make a choice whether we were taking on the debt or canceling the show, and we took on the debt. We're like, people drove here, people flew here. We gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
It was the first time I saw my manager cry. He's a grown man. And he cried.
I want to cry.
And I was like, okay, it's time for me to do my own thing.
Sure.
I had to carry the team. And so the next day is God restoring me. You know what I mean? So get on the plane. We didn't sleep. Get on the plane. We had like a little private plane. Go to Joburg. Just weird things happened that day. It was just such a godly presence. My friend gets lost outside. His name is Potlako. He can't get in. He says to the security, I'm here with Cassper. Imagine how many people can say, I'm here with Cassper.
Dude, get at the back of the line, please.
And they say, okay, cool. They take him from outside the stadium on a go-kart and drop him off in my change room. And I'm like, how did you get here? He's like, dog, he's from Mufftown. He got to the stadium and he told that guy, I'm here with Cassper. And they believed him.
Wow.
I get on stage and we're doing the rehearsals and they say, you performing right before Beyonce. And I'm like, what? I'm like, Chile, you guys are messing around. They're like, no, serious, you're really performing before Beyonce. I'm like, oh, maybe it's before Beyonce, but maybe there's like an Ed Sheeran and maybe I'm the last local act.
Yeah, like kuna something.
They give us the running order. I'm like, wait, I'm really... So now I start getting nervous because I'm like, yo, this is Beyonce. Like, as much as this is cool, when Beyonce gets on that stage, it's going to be clear that everyone was playing games. So, like, I'm nervous. And then I meet Oprah. I'm like, you know what? If anything, I'm just glad I got to take a picture with Oprah and I'm going to show it to my mom.
Yeah, if anything,
because when I was telling my mom about Kendrick Lamar, she didn't understand. So now she'll understand, like, Mom, I'm a big deal.
Yeah,
I met Oprah. So... the day goes by and I'm just nervous. I'm nervous. And then I start realizing that everybody is performing with like a limited volume and there's like screens that are not on. I'm like, okay, is that American thing?
Yeah, it's those politics we know.
So, everyone has 25 minutes, I think. So I'm worried. I'm like, yo, are they going to hear me? And then Ed Sheeran goes on. Yo, with that guitar, the stadium is roaring. Everyone is singing that other song. What's that? 16.
Which one's 16?
Is it 16? Yeah, when your feet don't down and
what that everybody saying?
I'm like, what am I gonna do after this? Yeah, I love it, Joe. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm like, yo, Joe. Anyway, let's just go. And we had a prayer. And I have in-ears on. So believe it or not, I couldn't hear the crowd throughout the show. For real.
No
So
ways.
like that thing that people were feeling and seeing.
So you're not feeding off the crowd?
I'm just performing and I just remember just thinking, I hope I'm doing well. I hope I'm doing well. This is so beautiful, but I hope I'm doing well.
Sure.
And then Chris Martin really came on stage. He wanted to perform Malume with me, which he promised me when he met me.
Yeah.
But I thought he was fooling around. Backstory, Global Citizen was moved a day for me.
No.
For real. So the reason why they moved it to the Saturday was or is it the Sundays? Because I was
No, it was the Sunday. It was the Sunday. Yes.
Because I was doing fill up in Durban. So Chris Martin was like, yo, if you promise me you'll do the show, we'll move it a day. I'm like, for me? It's like, yeah. So I was like, and he's like, and on top of that, I'll perform with you.
Tell me something. In those moments, do you ever feel like when events are moved, when you get on stage before Beyonce, when these big moments are happening, do you still feel like, me? Is it supposed to be happening to me?
I used to.
Now you're at a point where, if not me, then who?
Yeah, I used to feel like that. I used to have like a whole, why me? Why is it really going to happen? In fact, for me, it was like, is it really going to happen like that? But now, because I'm working with God, I'm like, of course. Like,
why were you asking, is it really going to happen? Does that come from a place of disappointment?
Yeah. Okay. I think so. I never thought I was good enough.
Sure.
My drive, people feel like I was always confident and I believed in myself.
Yeah.
But I think my drive came from not believing in myself. I always thought I was not good enough. I always thought I was lucky. I always worked harder than everyone else.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. You're probably the hardest working in the room, right? Stephen Furtick said he's a very disciplined man, and he says his disciplines are based on his weaknesses.
Wow.
So because he knows, like you said, because you thought I suck.
Yeah.
I'm the least talented in the room, or I'm not good enough. It's like,
deserving.
I know I will work times 10 to just keep up.
That's me. And I noticed it later in my life that, actually I was pushing that hard as a young man because I didn't believe I was good enough. Now I'm chill. Now I'm just like,
I am.
Hey, come on, man. If you don't see it, it's cool. Don't worry. It's not the same, but it's okay. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful to be operating from that, because now my confidence comes from the fact that I know that it's God engineering. It's not me. So even if it doesn't happen, it's not because I'm not good enough. It's because it wasn't supposed to happen.
It wasn't supposed to happen.
You know what I mean? That's not God's plan. But God's plan is always greater.
Always happens.
You know what I mean? So it's like now I'm starting to learn to enjoy things, for what they are.
For what they are.
Instead of glorifying, over glorifying things and over celebrating and over compensating. It's always just like, that's what's supposed to happen. This is God, we're talking about. So
tell me about the day you left